Kazakh is saying, how do I have an out-of-body experience and is it dangerous? Whew, okay, it's a big topic. Lots of things to talk about. So when it comes to getting out of body, I like comparing it to working out. I like comparing it to working out because it's really like growing muscles. A lot of people think of like out-of-body experience, astral projection, and lucid dreaming is the end result. This is where you start seeing six-packs. This is where you start like, oh, I finally got it. Damn, all these months of every single day workout is finally paying off. And you literally have to know that like what you want is a six-pack. What you want is getting out of body, and this is the end result. You're not thinking about the process in between where you're spending months every single day working out and doing things to get yourself to wanted results. Knowing that, okay, getting out of body, you are freaking lucky if you get out of body trying one technique once and, oh, I did it, yeah, for the first time. You're gonna be freaking lucky if that happens. But knowing that, like, okay, getting out of body for most people will be one hell of a hard journey. It's not easy, it's not fun, it takes a lot of time for most people. So if you want to get out of body, you have to know, like, you have to put the work in. If you want to look good in front of the mirror, like if you want to see your own muscles, you know that, like, I will have to work out, I will have to eat, I will have to have a nice routine and take care of myself and do tons of different things to get there. Now that you know, like, okay, so this is the end result I want, what happens? So there are tons of things that you can do in between regarding taking care of yourself. And first thing, getting out of body is not dangerous. Getting out of body, astral projection, lucid dreaming is not dangerous, but one thing you have to know is that you might become targeted. Because, for example, each and every one of you here, you're like a godlike being. You're super powerful. You are a freaking genius of absolutely everything. You are like the Superman, Superwoman, and you have tons of abilities. But at the same time, because you are so freaking awesome, you are a target, because you're a threat, because you have abilities that other beings don't have, because you can do that others can't. And knowing that, it's like if you get out, you get this enormous information about what's going on, and you can, like, whatever you're interested in life. For example, like, oh, like, what does the earth look like? Well, what about these species? What about all those things? You look at what, like, you know, like, for example, like, things you're interested in. And when you get out, you can find all of it. You can, like, be the next Nikola Tesla. You can get out and come back with blueprints, come back with tons of information, come back with, you've learned how to play piano, you've learned how to sing, you've learned how to play drums and other things. You come back with a whole script for a movie or a book or something else, and you're just like bringing enormous information, blueprints, and skills back here. Because each and every one of you can do that, you are freaking dangerous. They don't want awesome beings like you having those abilities. They don't want you to do good in life. They don't want it. They, being the beings who want to, let's say, dominate the world, and we can call them, like, put labels on, like, oh, like groups of reptilians and other beings, but there's like plenty of those, like archons and demiurges and stuff like that, and like tons of labels to call them whatever, to sort of like, okay, that's the target that we know, like, they don't like us, you know. But from then on, you know, the only thing that is dangerous is that you are a threat to them, and once you get out, they're scared. And what do scared people who are bullies do? They try to abuse you. And the way they will try to abuse you is use a scary face. They will try to put a scenario where they might scare you, or they might cause issues in your life where some people will say certain things to trigger you, to make you feel bad. But that's pretty much like how far they can go with trying to scare you and stop you from getting out of body, or simply having more daily issues in life. As in, okay, you're trying to do your project, you're trying to play a thing, you're writing your script and something, and you get a call from a person you haven't seen for 20 years, and all of a sudden, this massive project you had planned for years, and you're doing it, you're finally feeling inspired, and you're getting interrupted by someone who's like out of the blue showed up in your life, and you're like, really? What do I do now? And sort of like stops your flow, stops everything. So like there are a lot of these beings who know how awesome you are, and they don't want you to do good. Because the better you do, the more chances you have to not only break free from this control system, but at the same time, each and every one of you, you're already creating ripples. And from ripples, you can make waves. From waves, you can just cause this massive wave of awakening, of freedom. And while you yourself are working on fixing yourself and getting better, if you reach your wanted results, you inspire others. And then you create this massive wave of people waking up, getting better, inspiring each other, doing something to get together. And that's the thing, you know, like, they don't want that. They don't want the unity. They don't want people to love each other. They don't want kindness. They want you to suffer. They want you to be disappointed, to be unhappy, to be depressed. And they're every day, every single time, everything they can do, they will try to push you there. If they can't affect you, they will try to affect your surroundings to mess with you. That being said, like, these are the only dangers that might come in. As in, like, you might get sort of like interruptions. You might get some scary faces because that's all they can do. You're a godlike being. All they have to do is to try to affect your belief system. They're trying to affect what you think about and try to make you think that you are powerless, that you can't do anything, that you can't do all that. But you can. And the thing is, like, they're constantly, like, every single day, we are being programmed that we're not good enough, or just like chaos, and people are not good, and people are fighting, but more like, you're like, oh, we have war with this country, we hate them, and you're like, who wants to fight? No one wants freaking wars. It's like the government is someone at the top who's not happy, so if you want to go like into a box ring and solve your problems, but why do we normal people have to go there? And they try to, like, push the picture into, oh, we're hating each other, and like this race and this race hating God and stuff like that. So like constantly, like every single day, we have like tons of these programs all around us to try to trigger us, to try to think that like the world is bad, that people are not good to each other and all this stuff. But that's the thing, it's simply controlling your perspective. Once you know, like, oh, I love myself and I want to give others that love, and we create this massive chain of connection where people love each other, where people are helping each other. And then, when that happens, they're fucked. Because they can't do anything. Because people have the power, not the governments. You have the power, each and every one of you. That being said, like, these are the only dangers that might come with it. But then, the whole getting out of body thing is a massive journey. It's a massive journey. And you have to understand that there's a lot of things involved. Like, what works for me might not work for you. What works for another person might not work for you and all this stuff. So, like, there are tons of things that you can do to get your wanted results, but you have to work at it. That being said, tons of little things that you can practice every single day. Tons. And I think, like, I even have this little script or, like, little things I wrote down once. Yeah, like, it's basically, you know, it starts with the physical activities where, I'm just gonna keep it here. Physical activities where, you know, you're taking care of yourself, like, for example, working out, drinking water, eating healthier and stuff like that. One of the bigger things is, like, literally keeping the dream journal, because once you keep the dream journal, even though it's tedious, even though you're more like, I hate doing that, I hate waking up, I hate this and stuff like that, it's okay. No one's like, yeah, I'm gonna wake up and write a dream journal, yeah, I'm gonna record my dreams. It's like, Jesus, I don't want to get up, I'm so freaking comfy in my bed, and it's warm and snuggly, and we're like sort of sinking with that comfort, and who wants to get out of bed to wake up in the middle of the night to write down the dream? No one. Like, no one's like that, but we know that all the good things in life, if it's healthy for you, it's probably not that like, oh, it's so yummy, yay, like, you know, like it's like, only unhealthy food is more like, you know, like you just blast with how good it is, but the healthy food is like, you know, so like really depends. But anyway, so like the whole like keeping the dream journal, even though a lot of people don't like it and it's not that fun to do, it is really important because it starts with you paying attention to what's going on. It starts with you becoming aware. Hey, I am dreaming. Hey, this thing is happening. And when you keep the dream journal, it's not just to track your dreams and like, oh, like what a nice history I had. This like useless dream when I was in the car driving nowhere. How sweet. It's not about the basically the story there, even though you can find some patterns, but basically the main idea is recording your dreams to become aware of the details. And now once you start writing down like, oh, well, I was in the forest, it was like at night and there was like lots of stars in the sky, stuff like that, and sort of the more details you can write within the journal, about what you are experiencing, not just what you saw, but what you felt, who were you talking to, the conversations you had. The more details you can share, all of a sudden, next time you dream, you automatically start paying attention. You automatically wake up and you become more lucid and awake within the dream, to the point where you, from simple dream, go into the lucid state and you're like, hey, I'm dreaming. Whoa, really? Can I fly? And all of a sudden you start flying, and you can teleport, and you can do tons of things. So like, literally, becoming more aware of what's going on and practicing the memory gives you these abilities where in the dream you become more aware. In the dream you start paying more attention, and even though you were doing some tedious ass work, finally you're seeing results within the dream where you get the control, where you get to do what you desire. And from then on you can build into getting out of body and stuff like that. But these are like simple things where, let's say, the diet, what you do throughout the day, the creativity, the dream journal, and other little things that you can do every single day to practice to get there. But then there are also like tons of little things where, you know, like for example, like velvet technique and tons of other things like separating the bodies, mock-up technique, let's see, affirmations, oddball, chalkboard drill, sleep paralysis, like tons of little things that will get you there. But once you're out, man, you can be the next Nikola Tesla. You heard how like Paul McCartney dreamed up like the song of like yesterday, and he woke up and wrote it all, and like now it's a hit. Well, you can do that too, each and every one of you. So like getting out of body, doing astral projection, lucid dreaming, and all this stuff is a hard thing to do for most people. It's tedious, it's not fun, it's not like really exciting. But the more you practice and try to work at it, you can get your wanted results. And it's not just to have fun. Of course, like for some people, they had so many issues in life, they want to sort of like disconnect. And when you get out, you can have fun. You can have sex, you can have your wanted family, you can have your perfect life, you can meet your puppies, for example. If they're animals or people that you've lost, that you miss so much, you can meet them, you can talk to them, you can check up on them. You're like, oh, wow, they're doing great. Or like, you're sort of like, oh, they're reincarnated, cool. And so like, you can see how other people are doing. You can get out of body and literally go be here on Earth and go to certain places that you wanted to visit for a long time. You can go to Egypt, you can go to Area 51, you can go to some other places, you can actually check how Jeff Bezos is doing or something else. You can actually go and see some other people having a shower, like, whoa, ooh. You know, like, so like all these possibilities, but like that's like just having fun. Literally going into the world where, for example, you know, like some people like anime, some people like gaming, some people like movies and all this stuff, but literally you can like go into that fantasy world and live with them. You can meet your like beloved characters, you can spend time there, you can sort of have your own scenario with the wanted characters and sort of have your own like life there, come back and you're like, wow, that was freeing. But at the same time you can go out and learn about your past lives, about who you were in the past, what you did, like your history. And then at the same time bring information, learn tons of skills, learn new languages, learn how to play music on certain instruments, how to code, how to write, how to do other things. And next thing you know, you're an engineer, you're a programmer, you're something else, and you just come back with tons of skills. So like, it's a worthy journey if you want to get something out of it. And for example, like for me, man, like for me, like I'm mainly using to do work on myself and other people, like getting out of body, and simply like doing the energy work. For example, like people might have headaches, people might go through some issues in life where they're completely limited. And I've had stories of people who were like completely homeless and life is like fucked up in tons of ways, and just 1 hour working on the person, everything changes. They finally get a job, they get their own apartment, they get tons of other things, and like things change into like this sort of like personal place. But at the same time, people get like their body fixed. Like for example, like no more headaches. The person who lived like 30 years with heart issues all of a sudden stops, no more, can breathe, can like do normally, can act and all this stuff. So there's a lot that can happen, and like it's literally each to every one of you to what you want to do out there. And for example, you reflect on yourself and sort of like, oh, I might have some problems in life where, you know, like you feel like you're stuck, you feel like what's my purpose, why am I here? And you can find it all out there. You can like have this massive libraries of information. And for me, I think like getting out of the body, it's good for finding information, it's good for learning, it's good for having fun, but at the same time, you know, you hear me talk about things. You might watch other people, you might read tons of books, and you're like, well, yeah, I have tons of people, like tons of scenarios, but what is real? Is what you're saying is real? I like the story, but like I don't know for myself. if you get out, you will experience it for yourself. You will see it with your own eyes. You can literally go back in time and watch the World War events or like other things, like literally time travel. See your like past, like your grandparents or like great grandparents, and like just the whole timeline of your whole like all the relatives and ancestry, or like literally back in time into the very beginning. Like doesn't matter. So like tons of possibilities. And the best thing is that it's easy for me to talk and it's really fun. It's this massive subject, but once you get out, you get to see it for yourself. And it's nothing better than hearing a story from one person and then seeing it with your own eyes, and you're like, damn, this is good. So like getting out of body is a journey, and I think like each and every one of you, if it's possible, you know, like you just like try practicing it, because like the benefits you can have are massive. It's massive, and like I would say like just sort of it's tedious, it's not fun at first when you're practicing, but the results are enormous. So there's that. I just wanted to say, like, to let you all know that, like, you are freaking powerful beings, and what you can do are like tons of unlimited things. So the freedom, and literally some people are into like oh, I hate this life, I want to like commit suicide, or just like I don't want to exist anymore. If you get out of body, you can leave. No pain. No one to like, oh shit, like, well, like, I don't want to experience pain and die slowly, what if it fails? Literally, some people, like, jump from bridges, try to sort of, like, hang themselves on the rope, and tons of other things that happen, and they fail, and they live in that whole fucked up body for years, and then into the vegetative form, and like, I don't want to be there. So people who are done with this life get out of body and not come back. You're free, you don't have to come back here, and boom, freedom, baby. Live your own life, have a family there. If you are like, for example, male or female, you can change your sex, you can change your looks, you can like make another like aspect of yourself, or simply find your soulmates, find beings that you have also like a strong connection with, have a family there, have a life you would enjoy, and you are completely free from this place. No longer need to exist here, to like sort of like suffer now and stuff. Tons of possibilities. We're just like, man, getting out of body is amazing. so there, that's my little pitch. And the thing is, like, without a body, like, literally, you can find tons of information online. Like, read up, I have some videos, Rich has some videos, tons of things that you can find, and simply practicing it. Like, staying consistent and trying to do things every single day to at least a little bit get there. But with a little bit of practice here and there, you can totally get results. So, you know, I would sort of, like, literally encourage every one of you to try it out.